Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoteric Entertaining series on the video game trap house that is known as Super Sega FPGA, or now Super SPGA, or now Super Dead, because the last video we told you that the project was cancelled and Alejandro was stating he was refunding everybody's money. As of the recording of this video, everyone I know who pre-ordered the console, 4 people that have been in contact with me, have seen absolutely $0 in a refund. But now even the refunds are in question because Alejandro and the Super Sega team have apparently pulled a Christmas miracle out of their own asses and now have a statement apparently from Sega, wink wink nod nod, that says that not only does Sega approve of the project, but Alejandro should report Sega's own employees for harassment based upon the communications between Sega and Super Sega FPGA. And if that sounds like an absolutely wild imaginary tale, I'll get into what the statement says in just a moment, but honestly, this thing just keeps taking more and more weird twists and turns. The old Ron Jeremy of Spain here has a new story every single day. I'm doing this voice over 6 hours before you're watching this video, and it is highly likely impossible that information has changed since then. I would have to create sometimes 2 or 3 Super Sega FPGA videos per day to even try to keep up with all of the insane information coming out of this, although I did find the Lamborghini for sale online, and we'll get into that later on in the video. But let's move over to the statement that was released on Christmas Day, like Christmas Eve into Christmas Day, kind of overlapping both in regards to the project. Alejandro's now stating that Super Sega FPGA and Sega work together, and Sega has approved the project and wants them to continue to work on it, including not having to destroy any prototypes. And honestly, it is absolutely the weirdest thing ever. Let's read this statement. Greetings to whomever of Super Sega FPGA Group may concern. We are sorry to have interfered with your gaming console project without providing any evidence of any of your wrongdoings regarding these ongoing matters. We actually approve of your projects and appreciate your contributions to the gaming communities, industries across and around the world. I'll let you pause and read the rest of it, but it ends with, please go ahead and report some of our legal team employees associates behind these unlawful attacks for misconduct, harassment, etc. Sincerely, Sega Europe Legal Department. Now, if the Sega Europe Legal Department wrote that, I'm also 7 feet tall and play in the NBA, because this is what Alejandro said to Ian Lee just a few days ago, and big thanks to Ian Lee for letting me use this clip right here.
Ay, Matao, estoy leyendo la carta de Sega. No quieren ni Super SPGA, ni el nuevo dominio lo quieren. No quieren nada, no me quieren, quieren destrucción total. Que me tiren del balcón, no quieren nada. Y mi abogado me está pidiendo ahora más de 10.000 pavos para que continúe con él. No hay solución ni con lo de Sega, tío. No, es que está todo el mundo en contra de mí. Esto se va a la mierda. Voy a hacer una nota de prensa que...
And big thanks to Ian Lee for letting me use that footage. I actually put him in touch with Alejandro just by sharing some emails in the background because he wanted to talk to him as well, and he's gotten so much valuable information about this entire project out. I will leave a link to his channel below. Definitely check out the long form interview. And I sent this clip to a friend of mine, a viewer of the channel, who is a Spanish college professor, and they basically went through the entire thing, and it's just a rambling rant about how Sega doesn't want anything as far as the project is concerned to continue. And then, of course, 24 hours later, Alejandro comes out with a completely different statement saying that Sega approves the entire project and wants them to continue, and even credits them for what they're doing for the gaming world in general. I do not know how you rectify those two statements in your head or anybody else's head. Honestly, I haven't seen a single refund go through yet, and of course it was very interesting that these all happened over Christmas, and this entire news dump comes at Christmas. It's like the Friday 5 p.m. press conference when a government lets out some bad news, but there's even more that Ian sent over to me in his video, so go ahead and listen to this next clip because it's going to explain even more as to where some of this money maybe went, and trust me, it's weird.
Then 30 seconds later, he sends me this.
Hello, Ian. Today I received a new reply from Sega. We changed the name to Super SPGA instead of Sega FPGA, and they don't know what for us to continue. They still want for us to destroy. This is hard. I'm not sure what we can do. Our advocate is asking a 5-digit figure for us to continue. It's not good for us.
Now, when I heard that, I thought, you know, when you want...
It It's just absolutely amazing how within 24 to 48 hours the entire narrative on this story completely flips, twists over on itself, does a loop-de-loop, and comes back out making Alejandro seem like he's right and Sega is wrong. And I'm sure this has something to do with the fact that they keep saying in emails to look out for more information in January, because it seems like they really do want to go ahead with that crowdfunding campaign. And I can't stress enough that I cannot 100% definitively say that that statement was not written by Sega of Europe, but I can like 99.99999 to a rounding error say that it probably was not. I mean, honestly, the language in it, what it is saying, even the grammar just basically seems like something that was poorly translated over. It doesn't seem like anything Sega would say in the first place. I know some news sites are reporting that they've seen communications from Sega that are official, but honestly, until Sega makes a public statement saying as such, I have to look at them and question all of them. Is it possible that some of the things about the cease and desist are true? It is. Is it possible that they're completely manufactured and made up? It also is, because until Sega comes out and actually says something, we have no clue what is going on. And again, it's been great for Ian to upload some of these clips and let me use the footage. I put the two of them in touch, and when we talked about it last time, Alejandro showed this €133,000 deduction from his Stripe account. But I talked to some people that are Stripe vendors, basically have businesses set up to use that, and if you are issuing refunds, it's done by a case-by-case basis. It is not done in one lump sum. So €133,000 left this account at some point in time. We have no idea where it went, and that Spanish right there underneath it translates to your Stripe account is a negative €133,000 balance. So the question is, where did the bulk of this money for the Super Sega project go? Why did they issue refunds if now the project is going ahead? And why have none of the people that I've talked to that pre-ordered this thing seen a penny of their money back? It is one of those things. Alejandro even states that if you haven't seen your refund, you should go ahead and do a chargeback with your credit card company. And the credit card company pays for those charges back, not the vendors. And if the vendors have no money left, then it's basically the bank that gets stuck holding the bag, which would be a very bad idea on Super Sega FPGA's part. It's one thing to soak the consumer for some money, it's another thing to screw with the banks. This could actually end up turning out even worse depending on how this whole thing rolls moving forward. Because again, there's €133,000 out there that have apparently changed hands for the Super Sega FPGA, and obviously it doesn't seem like a thing that's ever going to exist in an FPGA format. Taking a look underneath the heatsink, it looks like a chip that's just basically been glued on with no technology around it, no capacitors or the like that would even make it function whatsoever. And even like before with the Fran 8K camera, the MO is to take money in for pre-orders, declare bankruptcy, and all of that money goes missing. And of course, Alejandro did say that he's going to be selling his beloved Lamborghini, and that is one of the things that's become a meme as far as this channel is concerned and the entire project. And I did find the post where the Lamborghini is up for sale, but remember, I could list my personal vehicle on Auto Trader or Craigslist tomorrow and then say I'm selling it. Just because you list something doesn't mean you're actually going to sell it. This could be one more little detail just to make it seem like they are selling this vehicle to try to pay for the Super Sega FPGA project. But now apparently if Sega's not upset whatsoever, then they wouldn't be short any money because it wouldn't be an issue in the first place. And I did get this little bit of information off the photograph here, and if we move back over to the Super Sega FPGA video from earlier in the month or maybe in November, you're going to see those last three letters do match. So the Lambo has been listed for sale, but again, that doesn't mean it's ever going to sell, and the basis of the entire sale was because apparently people were demanding money and a cease and desist on the project. Now we have this statement that has been released that Sega approves of it and wants them to continue, which means there would be no shortage of money. And this is where I think things are going to get very interesting in the next couple of weeks to a month, because the entirety of this off-ramp of being able to make the money disappear was predicated on the fact that they had to pay somebody out, they had to sell a Lamborghini to cover the costs, and refunds have been issued. But now there would be nobody to pay because they have said that Sega is 100% on board with Super Sega FPGA. So how do you take those two statements and parse them out and try to find any logic in the situation? The reality is you absolutely do not. Alejandro says and does whatever it is Alejandro wants to say and do to try to keep these things going, and he might want to do that crowdfunding campaign in January. Now my guess would be if that goes live, it's going to generate no money whatsoever, because at this point in time, there is not a soul out there that doesn't realize this is the most suspicious project ever created in the retro gaming sphere, whether it's FPGA or not. But that's the current situation right now. There's 133,000 euros missing. Apparently Sega has stated that the project is a go-ahead and that Alejandro should report their employees for harassment to Sega in general, and that the employees were acting out of turn. And I'm pretty sure, wink wink nod nod, that's not exactly what happened, but you leave me a comment down below and you tell me what you think, and don't worry, the Super Sega FPGA video game trap house is still open for business. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.